Hello? Hi, can you hear me? Awesome. Hello, Victoria. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Just done with classes for the day. I just had one class. Not too bad. I'm taking five classes right now. One of them is asynchronous though. So wow. Wait, why are you taking six classes? What the heck? Oh, I see. Oh, oh, I see. Oh, you do you go to SJs too as well? Oh, nice. What are you studying right now? Oh, same with me. Yeah. Yeah, what made you go into finance out of curiosity? I see. Mm, I see. Now, because for me, I wasn't always, a finance major. I used to be a mechanical engineer. I did that for about a year. Um, yeah, I mean, kind of like, tried it out for a bit at least, and, at least realized that wasn't something that I wanted to pursue. And so I kind of shifted over to finance because, more interested in, kind of learning about the money side of things, but not just, that, but also because I know, I run my own e-commerce business as well. So, wanted to find something, that kind of matched that because, everyone who runs a business, needs to know about finance and everything like that too. Yeah, but I'm curious for you. It's like, so are you third year or fourth year? Oh, last year, dang. How does it feel, like almost being done and everything? Are you kind of looking forward to, starting up? Mm, nice. Well, do you have like internships lined up, or are you mostly like kind of trying to see like find? Mm, mm. Oh, I see. No, I see, I see. Well, where do you work right now? Because, for me as well, I work at a shoe store. It's called Rothy's at Valley Fair. I just got it about a month ago. About just kind of been trying that out because I recently like moved from San Ramon to San Jose, because for school and everything. And so I used to actually work at a grading center for little kids. But then I recently, just got this job and everything like that. It's been cool though because you actually get to learn a little bit like how to like interact with people like and do like retail, like selling products and everything like that. I feel like that's kind of something kind of cool. But I'm curious for you, like where do you work right now? Like how are you liking it and everything like that? Hmm. A receptionist for a civil engineering company. That sounds cool. Uh, mm, yeah. Nah, it's really cool. My mom's actually a civil engineer as well, but yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. Like, because for me, I also work, I go to school, and I'm, running my business. So I definitely understand where you're coming from, like, kind of trying to find something that doesn't use a lot of your brain. Because when you go into that job, and then after, a 4 or 5 hour shift, it's like, do you have enough energy, to do the other things? And a lot of times, like, because I used to work at a trampoline park, with little kids, and everything, and it was really really exhausting. Yeah, it was really exhausting, you know. And so I don't see myself, you know, doing that like right now because you know I have a bunch of other stuff like you know kind of going on. Yeah, but I'm curious, you know, because I know you know saw my message on LinkedIn and everything. Um, I shared with you right a little bit about how I'm running my e-commerce business, right? And I shared with you a little bit about the mentorship, I believe too. Like like what from the message like kind of caught your attention and like what made you like interested to come to the meeting today? Yeah. Mm. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm. Sure, sure. hmm Yeah, yeah, and you know, for the mentorship side, too, you know, I am like connected with a you know a bunch of like um, coaches, like highly successful like entrepreneurs that I work with, and so they kind of help me guide me, you know, run my e-commerce business and everything like that. You know, I used to you know do other businesses on the side as well, but I really feel like mentorship is something that's really important, you know, because kind of just doing like everything on your own. I feel like you need someone who's you know already experienced, already seen the landmines, already seen like what possible you know things can come your way, how to deal with them. So I feel like that's really important. But in terms of you know learning about the e-commerce business and everything like that as well, you know I'm gonna like touch on that a little bit too. Like towards you know the end of the meeting, the reason I say that is because um, you know I'm sure you know like with running like any when you have like any you know partnership or anything like that that you need to like you know be able to like trust the person. And so for me it's like I don't want to like you know partner with the wrong people, you know. I want to find people who like share my same core values, you know, share my same beliefs. That's why you know this meeting I kind of want to dedicate it mostly to like kind of getting to know you, right? And then you getting to know me as well, because I don't think you know we can get into like any you know long-term partnership if we don't trust each other, you know. Yeah, and so I'm glad you know on the same page with that. But just to like be clear also as well, are you looking for like what are you looking for exactly? Are you looking for a job? Are you looking for an internship? Are you looking for a business opportunity? What exactly are you looking for? I see. Mm, I see. hmm Yeah, and I was you know like that as well because you know I was working a job as well, going to school, and so I've always had that active income coming in, right? Meaning that I've always you know had money coming in, but what I really thought about was if I could have money coming in passively, right? And so money that could come in, like if I already built a strong enough system in which I don't actually, you know, have to physically be there for me to, you know, get a lot of money. But I feel like, you know, especially with, you know, how things are, you know, today, you know, how expensive it is, you know, living in San Jose and everything like that. It doesn't hurt, you know, to have something on the side, right, to help you out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's awesome. You know, I'm glad you know you have like the right expectations, right? Um, for this meeting, right? Um, I was also like curious to know like when you say you want to run a business opportunity, right? Like not a lot of people really have that ambition. Not a lot of people really, you know, say I want to, you know, start a business. Most people are, you know, working a job or going to school. But I'm curious, what makes you like kind of have that desire to start one? Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. Hmm. Mm, I see. Um, Studying a cafe business, that's awesome. I'm curious though, what makes you like interested to learn more about e-commerce? Because e-commerce is like, very different from cafe, right? It's online, you know. Like what made you like interested in learning about that more? Mm, mm, mm. I see. Hmm. I see. So is it mostly like are you mostly set on starting a cafe business, or was it just an idea, or are you just mainly kind of exploring your options, seeing which one works best for you? Mm, 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 yeah. Mm. I'm curious though, like a cafe business, what's like your kind of end goal? Are you like kind of looking to obviously the income, right? Starting a business and having something of your own. But what are you kind of really looking to get out of it? Are you like looking to, support family? Some people even want to, retire their parents, but some people just want to, have more time to spend with their family. Some people want to be able to like go on vacation, like fun vacation. Some people just want to have time like be able to do like, their fun hobbies, which it's very easy to not be able to get to do those things because of either working a job or being caught up in other things like going to school full time. Activities like these can really make it difficult to do things that you want. But I'm curious for you, like, what's kind of your goal with being able to start a business? Like, what are you looking to get out of it? Mm, yeah. Mm, mm, I see. Hmm. Wow, I mean that's really awesome. That you have that vision, right, to being able to retire your parents. Uh, because a lot of people they don't really have that goal. And my mentor actually, his name's Phil. He's actually able to retire his parents at age 25. Something that I really look up to because I'm not sure about you, but for me it was like seeing my family work that job, like work 9 to 5, like waking up at like what 5 6 a.m. going and then coming back, and then they're super tired, and everything like that, and you don't really have time to do the things that you want. So I'm curious, like, what really makes you like want to be able to retire your parents? Mm, I see. Mm, 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 I see. Man, that's really really awesome because I know working at construction too is very challenging, right? Especially when it's very hot out there. And actually, I did visit like construction sites a few times, and I saw them, going in, to start working at very very early in the day, like what 5 6 a.m. Is that like similar to your dad too? Does he like what time does he start usually? Like what time does he end work? Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, I see. Mm, I see. I see. So is it very like kind of on call? Like he doesn't have a fixed schedule. If they just like call him to come in for work, he just has to go in. Mm, mm-hmm, mm, mm-hmm. Ah, I see. Yeah. Mm, mm. And it's like very like that sounds very tough to be honest because it's very like out of control, right? You like there's especially with how expensive like things are, right? It can be tough where you're not really in control of like how much income you get. And so when you're not in control of anything, a lot of things, can not turn out like well because if you can't take care of certain bills or if you can't like take care of supporting your family but I'm curious like is that kind of also like when you see your dad, right? You like going to work like long hours. Did you ever feel like, man, like I wish I was able to like kind of spend more time with him? Because like for me, it's like when I see my mom and my dad, working, I don't really see them even though we live in the same house. Like my dad would come, my dad would leave at like 5 6 a.m. And actually he lives in San Ramon right now, which is like a little bit up north. But essentially, he would commute to San Francisco, right? It would be like an hour and a half commute, and then he would commute back like an hour and a half back as well, and then he would come back around like what 7 p.m. And then I would see him like we'd probably eat dinner for like what 10 15 minutes, but it's crazy because everyone's just too tired, Like I had like school, I have other stuff going on like work, and then he also had his like full time job, right? So it's like kind of like you don't really get to spend like good quality time, right? Because you're constantly in that rat race. You constantly have to, you know, repeat the same things over and over again. And yeah, I mean, I'm curious, like, did you ever see that as well, like growing up? Mm, mm, yeah, yeah, that's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. I see. Mm. Mm. No, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's honestly like a little similar with me too, because my dad, he doesn't work in construction, but he's a pharmacist, but he's also like a life cycle leader as well, right? And so a lot of people we know depend on him as well. And it's tough because like there is like a lot of activities, right? That I used to do with him, growing up. Like we used to play like a lot of soccer. We used to play like we used to just, talk, chill. We used to like go eat food, like what would that time, like say like you were like, financially free, right? Say like you had a crazy like business. What would you like really, what activities would you really want to be able to do with your family? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man. Yeah, I mean, traveling is something on my bucket list too. I actually have some slides I can share with you a little bit later. It's actually some pictures of my mentors going out with their families, because they're able to grow their business very successfully, and they actually go to different countries. They go traveling all the time with them, and they're retired their family, and it's like really awesome to see because you know like just seeing your parents being relaxed like as you said earlier and not having them to like really worry about anything is really cool and I'm really similar in that aspect as well because yeah that is something I really enjoy too and I I have a dream of accomplishing too like one day but I remember I know it's like right now I think the last time I went on a vacation with my family was only like what 2 years ago uh, which I'd like to be able to do it more. Um, but just spending that quality time, I wish I could be able to do that more often. Like my mentors, like 3, 4, 5 times every year. Like curious for you, when was the last time you like took a vacation with your family or kind of just did something for fun? Yeah. Mm, yeah. I see. I see. Well, what would be like your dream spot? If you had like all the money, right? If time or money like weren't an issue. Yeah, yeah, with your family. Mm, I see. Nah, it's really awesome because like I always wanted to go to like places like what Greece. like Italy, like some cool places like that. And it's kind of like being, where I am right now. It is a little, kind of stopping me essentially from hitting, what I what I would like to have. But I'm curious as well. It's like in terms of like being able to travel too, and being able to retire parents. Like, are you like for me? It's like I always wanted my kids to like in the future to kind of like be able to have like I wanted to always be like a full time like parent, right? Because being a like working a job like going to school, you don't really have that like time, right? Like we were mentioning about earlier. Is that like something too, like being a full time parent, like being full time mom, like you kind of like looking to achieve too? Hmm. For sure. Mm, I see. Well, honestly, it sounds like we have a lot of a lot of things in common, especially when we were talking about being able to take care of our family, right? And that's actually one of the core values of our business that I'll touch on to a little bit later. Um, but essentially, right, like for me, like I said, I always saw my, dad, working, like waking up really early, going to work. And I was, I was always thinking to myself, right, there has to be another way, right? I can potentially live my life because I also like grew up in a, city, like I told you earlier, San Ramon, right? And in that area, it's like, very academically competitive, right? Everyone's going for that, what, 4.0 GPA. And, for me, it's like, school wasn't really an issue for me. I was getting what A's and B's, but I always wanted to kind of have something on the side, have some passive income going. And so when I was 16, I started, my drop shipping business. I started a Shopify account, and I realized, after doing it for about a year, I did, have my website open up and everything. I did have like some nice products and everything like that too. But it was just like for me, it was just that mentorship, right, that I was talking about earlier. And so when I came to college, it was like I really, I like, when I was new to college and I was just, going to school, going to work, I always wanted to like kind of have another side hustle going on for me, but I just didn't know what to do because there were so many opportunities out there. I'm sure like when you go on Instagram, there's so many different courses people ask you to buy, and there's so many like different things you can pursue, but really picking the right one was something that I didn't know like which one was for me until one day when actually I got connected to someone through a friend of a friend, and I met him actually at a San Jose State. It was kind of near the engineering building, and he was telling me how he is right now doing an e-commerce business. And knowing me, I got excited immediately because that's something I do as well. And I was sharing to him how I, kind of started a dropshipping business before and wasn't able to work out how I'd like it to work out. And he was telling me about a business opportunity that he's doing. And I told him like, you know, like what is it? Like how does it work? Everything like that. I wanted to know like a lot of things. And then he actually sent me to a seminar in which I can actually learn more. And what was crazy was when I attended the seminar, I saw people who were not my age, but they were in their 40s, 50s, 60s, the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers. And I was really questioning, how come my starting point is their end point? I'm someone who's 20 years old, and why are they taking a detour from their career? Why are they coming to this seminar? Especially because the keynote speaker was 25 years old. His name is Phil Lee. He's actually my mentor right now. And I was just like really like questioning it. And it was honestly, I realized why all these people came to listen to him. And it was because of what he stood for, his values, like what we were talking about earlier, his, uh, his ambition level, because he was actually able to retire his parents, at age, he retired himself at age 22 and his parents at age 25. And, what was the crazy part was he was like, you know, um, he came from Vietnam when he was 19, no money in his pocket. And, to be able to reach that, it was kind of crazy. And, I was kind of falling asleep, listening to the other speakers before him and everything like that. But when he, when he started talking, it was like, uh, it was really insane. And when the seminar finished and everything like that, I like went up to him, I asked him, Phil, like asked him so many like different like questions, like, how can I get started my business? Like, how can I live the lifestyle you're living right now? And he was telling me, well, it's not about what you want to do, but it's about how you want to live. Because, and that was like really crazy to me because not everyone, like, that's like a question that I've never heard before, right? Because everyone always asking, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? But for me, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And then he asked me another question. He was like, do you know the difference between being wealthy and being rich? And I didn't know that either. Uh, like, I'm curious for you. Do you know like the difference between being wealthy and being rich? Yeah, honestly, like I was, like that too, because for me, I was always focused on the income, right? The money coming in, and being rich, right, is basically just having a lot of money. But being wealthy is the ability to have money and time, right? Kind of the ability to spend time with family, with friends. And so after, that seminar and everything, I reached back out to, my friend who invited me to the seminar. I told him, yo, how can I, get started in this thing? And he told me that there's actually a selection process in which I have to go through. And because I have to earn the trust of the mentorship, because I need to prove to them, to my coaches, to my mentors, that I'm actually, serious and I'm ambitious. So I took, the selection process very seriously. They gave me a bunch of free audios, free books, and I listened to them every single day, and I, took notes and sent them pictures. And I had to work really hard, but eventually, after a month or a month and a half, I was able to earn the trust and get started on my e-commerce business. And I've been on it for like about 10 months right now, and right now I'm on track to becoming financially free, and by the time I graduate. And so that's a little bit about you know how I got started, and kind of my where I see myself, like, getting to that level, because we all have goals, like dreams, right? But it's about the vehicle you take, to get to the destination, right? So if someone wants to go to Hawaii, can you go to Hawaii from here with a car? No, you need the right vehicle. You need to fly. And so I realized that I'm not going to be able to get to my goals of being able to retire my parents by working a full time or just working a job. I'm not going to be able to reach that lifestyle. And so does anything like from what I shared, does anything like resonate with you or? Hmm. I see. I see that you're very like family oriented. That's great. Yeah, and so I can actually share with you a little bit of slides, prepared to kind of actually give you more insights about our e-commerce business and some of the values that we kind of stand for. Because as I mentioned, like, the partnership comes first, before the business model. So let me see if I can share my screen. Can you see it? For sure. Uh, but do you have work today? Or not? Not just chilling. Okay. Okay, we should be done by then. Okay. Yeah, but then I'm just gonna go over this like kind of briefly because there's actually the wheel of life, and so this is actually like all the areas in our life that we actually want to take care of, right? Because it's not just finance, but family, big one. Being able to take care of health, relationship, entertainment, like traveling, like we mentioned, impacting, being able to help people, um, all this stuff is kind of stuff that we really embody. And I'm curious for you, outside of like, we touched a lot on finances and family and like what else, kind of from here kind of stands out to you. Mm, I see. Mm-hmm. Is impact something like you're looking, do you like helping other people? Like, is that something you want to have, like that impact? Like what people will remember you as, you know? Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, because impact is something that I really look forward to because I don't want to just take care of myself. I want to be able to take care of two generations before me, and two generations after me, my kids and my future grandkids as well. Um, yeah, and so this is just a picture of like life goals, right? So 22 to 30, this is what people like usually, right? And for people generally, this is what they go for. Just showing that. I don't know what this. We can just skip this. But this is actually my mentor. His name's Kenny. You can see him like at a nice resort and everything right there, right? Enjoying his time. But let me get into the better pictures right here. Him and his family, right? He's actually able to take care of their family. He's able to be a full time dad, and his wife, Nini, she's able to be a full time mom. And so their kids, they get to spend every single day like with them, and probably in like 1 year of like Kenny's lifestyle is their kids spending more time with them than average family, and so this is also him and all these people, like all these like this is like a dream right here because to be honest he probably paid for all their expenses and everything like that. Like is this like kind of what you envision yourself, like kind of being able to take care of like your family? Mm, mhm, mm. Hmm. But yeah, this is actually Kenny and Nini again at one of our business conferences. It's called FED. These happen about once a year. It's actually in Baltimore, Maryland, and yeah, like all of these people, and that like that's the stage like right there. That's where like all the speakers, all the successful mentors they go, and we're talking about impact, right? Like it's probably like tens and thousands of people who come here just to learn from these highly successful like entrepreneurs. And so let me see, this is him also. As you can see, people of like all ages, like 20s, 30s, 40s, even like 50s coming to learn from him, and he's in his 20s. And this is him again. People circling around him. Really curious to know more and really hungry for knowledge because they want to live his lifestyle as well. And this is actually my mentor Phil. Buying a car, a nice Range Rover, and he's actually as I mentioned, like I mentor, but someone also have the ability to talk to because I actually earned his the mentorship, right? And so I'm actually able to learn from him and kind of take my business to the next level. This is him, in a Lamborghini, I believe, and living the life and everything like that. This is actually him and his mom on the right here. He's actually able to take her to Thailand, and this is actually right after he became financially free. The first trip that he was actually able to take his mom on, and also them, you know just having fun and retiring his parents is definitely a blessing and everything. And this is Phil too on the stage. Everyone kind of listening in and wanting to learn more. But okay, now get into I can get into a little bit more about how we make the money. A little bit about our e-commerce system, right? And so, have you ever heard of Amazon FBA? Amazon FBA. Okay. Well, essentially, our business, right? So we kind of we are kind of like the middleman, and so essentially we partner with all these Fortune 500 companies like Apple, Nike, Bank of America, and what we do is help streamline the supply chain. We take part in a profit sharing business model in which we connect the buyer to the seller, and essentially we all it's all e-commerce, right? So no startup costs, very cheap. You don't have to open up any physical stores, and so we also have discounts, right? Because we partner with all these companies, right? Because we partner with them, so we're actually able to get um, a lot of discounts. So kind of think of it as a online Target, right? So just Target, but online. And so what you do is just connect, like I said, people to your online store and everything like that. But does that kind of like make sense? Okay. Do you have any questions so far? Okay. And yeah, I mean, go to the next slide. Have you ever heard of the franchising concept? Okay. So think of it kind of like McDonald's, right? So McDonald's is a franchise. So have you ever thought of why McDonald's was the best, is the most popular burger place, but they don't sell the best burgers? hmm Like what makes you think? Yeah. Mm, 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 mm. When you said their ability, right, to kind of open up a lot of locations, do you know what makes them have the ability to, not just do that in America, right, but all over the world, Africa, Asia? Have you ever thought of that? Well, it's because of two things. It's because they're duplicable and they're scalable. So they're scalable because you can actually, because it's duplicable, bro, because you can pick any random Joe off the street and teach them how to make burgers. And same thing with our business because we have that mentorship, right? So all you have to do is basically be able to become that master copy of someone who's already become successful. And it's scalable because it's very cheap startup. Well, for our business, right? It's cheap startup costs. And with McDonald's, right? It's, obviously not, you have to invest money into it, but the reason why it's scalable is because the McDonald's system is very convenient. And so a lot of, entrepreneurs are willing to invest and invest, and because it's very convenient, it's very easy to become scalable. And with our business, it's like I mentioned, because it's online and it requires no startup fee, so that you can actually build this business not just in the U.S. but across 100 different countries and territories. Not just in America, but anywhere you'd like, basically. And well, do you have any questions so far on that? All right. And these are our core values, right? That I was talking about earlier. So, freedom before luxury, and family before career. Um, yeah, like you can see, like kind of the differences between kind of the left side, the right side, like what we kind of want to have, like that. We don't want to have that growth mindset, right? We don't want to have that fixed mindset, and we actually really big believers in personal development, right? We love reading books. We love like listening to audios, and just love growing ourselves like every day. Like I'm not sure for you, are you like a big reader or? Hmm, I see. Are you like also like big on like that personal development too? Like for you? Yeah. Mm, I see. Is that like is that something that interests you because of like because you can like take those skills and kind of just apply it to like work, to your family, stuff like that? I see. Yeah, I mean personal development for me is like very similar like that too because I when I graduate and stuff, when I get into jobs and everything like that, what's crazy was is that people who work in the engineering actually, it's not the top guys, the managers, it's not the people who have the most skill, but it's actually the people who are actually able to communicate well with their employees, with their coworkers, with their boss. And so I kind of definitely see that too with like personal development for me as well. And people before profit. There's actually a picture of my mentor Phil and like all the people he's mentored. And so this is done by like a big business event. But for people before profit, right? We actually have no problem investing our materials, our books, our audios into the right people because we have no problem spending our time to find quality business partners. And we also want to become also want to become a better version of ourselves, and we also want to have that like impact and legacy as well. But this is kind of like a little bit of what our mentorship provides. So our mentorship, you know, when if you do end up earning the mentorship, these are a few things that they can help you with. Not just the business side, but they help you in all aspects of life, relationships, goal setting, communication skills, career guidance, personal finances, leadership development, and that's actually because how you do one thing is how you do everything else. And so what that means is that if one thing, say like you have bad relationships, that could actually affect all other areas of your life, like personal finances. And so we want to try and keep everything in check because if one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong. And same also with the wheel of life that I showed with you earlier, right? If someone doesn't have finances, are they going to be able to still spend that quality time with family? Are they going to be able to have good health to get good food that's not bad for you, that's healthy? So yeah, do you have any questions on that so far? Oh, I see. Are you like someone who like kind of looking for have you like been looking for a mentor, like someone to like kind of guide you or? Hmm. 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 Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, that is something that, you earn, that you could earn, alongside running your business, because we also do have a mentorship system. And, the mentorship, without, the mentorship, no one will really be able to kind of succeed in the business. But obviously as well, like, mentorship doesn't just go for business, but all areas of your life, kind of like we were talking about earlier, right? Kind of having that person who already went through the landmines, kind of knows, what to expect in certain situations. But it kind of brings me to the last slide, right? The selection process I was talking about earlier. And so we do have a 7-step selection process to check, before, launching anyone into our business. We need to make sure first, like, right, we're working with the right people. And so the first step was kind of just like, what we were doing, like, today, right? Me just kind of getting to know you, and you kind of getting to know me as well. But the second step is actually going to dive a little bit deeper into our business model, and kind of like how we make the money, right? Because I know I touched on it very briefly today, but actually in the second step, right, you learn uh, a way better, like, much bigger picture. And so the first 3 steps are kind of for us to just evaluate you, and the last 4 steps are for you to just evaluate us. And so, are you interested in continuing? Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Mm. Mm. I see. Well, yeah, I totally, get where you're coming from. How, it's a lot of, things, right? You have, going on. And, although I can't, guarantee, right, that this opportunity will come again. Uh, but what I can say is that this business opportunity isn't something that you need to, quit your job or anything like that. It's actually something that you do, like, alongside, like, your current activities. Like, for me, like, as I mentioned, like, I'm, doing, like, my mentor, he worked full time work, did 2 degrees and everything like that, and still running his business. Same thing with me, I'm working a job, and, kind of, going to school and building my business as well. So it isn't something that, you have to, like, give up something to be able to run this. But yeah, I mean, um, is that, like, if you if you don't want to, you know uh move on, you can always, reach back out to us, right, whenever, you feel you're ready, and we can, take it take it from there and everything like that. Yeah, for sure. Well, but yeah, it was, great talking to you, great meeting you today. And yeah, and maybe we'll see each other again on campus or something like that. But yeah. All right. All right, see you. Yeah, you too.